everybody? It's your boy Pitts Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, it's going down, all things HBCUs. And who else better to start it off with them Bowie State Bulldogs? We coming to you, Bowie State Bulldogs, total access. We got the Morgan State Bears. Listen, all HBCUs information, all HBCU news, sporting events, updates. You get it live here with Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Comcast Channel 77, Verizon Channel 11 is going down. Don't you miss a beat. Listen, it's only the beginning because it's early still. And it's we're gonna be here all day. All day. Coach Jason Bryant, Albany State University softball head coach. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. I like the intro.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Terrence Pitts. I am Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV. We are coming to you live with guests, more HBCU 2025 softball classic challenge. Listen, it's going down. You already heard Coach Steve Wallace on the last show. He said that Livingstone was going to take the CIAA. I'm ready to see what Coach Bryant feels about the CI. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for joining us. And if you can you share a little bit about yourself to our viewers and listeners?
I'm Coach Jason Bryant. This is my 4th year here at Albany State. Really enjoy the school, enjoy the atmosphere, and really love coaching. And these kids are great around here.
Man, Coach, if you can you share a little bit about your program? How many returning players do you have this year from last year?
We have 12 seniors.
Oh, wow.
That's returning. And I think, 3-4 juniors. I got a couple of JUCO transfers one JUCO transfer and then a 4-year transfer that's going to add some bat and a lot of speed to our lineups. Then we have a few sophomores and some incoming freshmen as well.
Wow, so you have a veteran-led team.
Oh, yes.
Wow, so 12 seniors?
12 seniors. So a lot of things, my expectations for this group is real high.
And that was going to be my next question. You know, what are your expectations going into this season, especially when you have such a seasoned-led veteran leadership team?
If we go out and play like we're capable of playing, I think, our conference is the SEAC, of course, and it's really scattered pretty much. I mean, there's probably 10 teams that I would think could win each division and battle off at the conference championships. So it's going to be a dogfight. There's really no team in our conference that you can just walk out there and just because you show up, you're going to beat. And which I think helps. I think having that kind of standard throughout the whole conference is beneficial.
Absolutely. And if you can, for those who are not aware of Albany State, I know that's in Albany, Georgia. Can you just highlight some of the things of Albany to those who are not familiar with that university?
Well, Albany's southwest Georgia. It's an hour any direction from the interstate. We're about an hour and a half from Columbus, 40 minutes from Tifton. We're not far from Valdosta. Americus is within, I'm an old Alabama boy, so within Thorn Rock, it's a nice sized town. Here at Albany State, we have 2 campuses. We have the East Campus and the West Campus. We got multiple gyms for basketball. We've got 2 softball fields, 2 baseball fields. We have an indoor batting cage that baseball and softball use over here on the west side. We have great facilities. I mean, our facilities are extremely, extremely impressive from every aspect, from the softball field to the gyms, to the weight room. We have a state-of-the-art weight room. I wish I could show you all this. We have 3 different weight rooms, but the main state-of-the-art weight room is, where our athletes lift. And it's amazing to see. It's spectacular, actually.
Coach, when you talk about going back to your softball team, and when you say you have 12 veterans, do you rely and do you lean on your veterans to help out with navigating and guiding the new players or the younger players into what it means to be an Albany State University softball player?
Yes, sir. We try our best to, we believe, or I believe, that players develop the culture.
Absolutely.
And if that culture is right, then those seniors in their leadership will expand that down through the juniors and freshmen and sophomores. And then when it comes their time to be seniors, just to be a ball that keeps rolling. We won't miss a beat. And I do rely on them extremely. I can't even tell you how much I rely on them on and off the field. And
when you talking about, you got the 12 veterans, you got a transfer from JUCO, you got a graduate transfer. Whenever it comes to, playing time, of course, your veterans, I'll take it, are your go-tos. How do you navigate that, especially when you have some younger talent that may come in and show flash, where they may require some time on the field as well? How do you balance that?
Well, I make it known each year in the exit interviews, in my recruiting, that there is no such thing as guaranteed playing time. The 10 best players are going to be on the field. And if you want to be one of those, then you have to work. Of course, the seniors have a big head start on everybody because, they're used to my program by now. But the best players are going to play. And, it's college. And this side of the desk is a business. It's not like you rec ball or something where you give $50 and get playing time. You got to earn it.
Absolutely. Can you shed a little light on the camaraderie that you've experienced when it pertains to just softball, in particular HBCU softball?
These girls, they hang around with each other. They get along with each other. Now we have our problems too. If I were to sit here and tell you everything was roses, then everybody listening would know I was lying. But we have those things, but we also pride ourselves in being mentally tough enough to overcome those things and stay together as a unit. As far as the school, from the president to the last one on the totem pole, so to speak, everybody loves each other. We get along with each other. Even in meetings when you might disagree or something, but as far as I've been here, everyone leaves on the same page, and we're trying to do what's best for our particular program.
Have you been a part of, or did you help come up with any of those chants, Coach?
The chants the girls do? Yeah. No, I stay out of that. I totally stay out of that. Coach, only thing I do sometimes call timeout. We don't want to say that. But boy, son, now they get into it. That's the one thing that I noticed early on when I first came into the HBCU world was you can be up 12-0 or down 12-0, but them chants are important. They're gonna keep on going. God forbid you make an error, because if you do, they ain't gonna let up.
And Coach, I laugh because when you say, no, I stay out of that, I'm laughing because I said last year, those chants are brutal.
You better have some thick skin out there. You ain't gonna like it,
And the coaches are off limits.
Oh, well, most of the time.
Coach, last year, you guys participated in the 2025 HBC or the 2024 HBCU Softball Challenge. Just talk about that experience from last year. Did it meet your expectation, and what did you take away from it from last year?
Well, one of the reasons I like playing in it, we from a coach's perspective, we get the Division II games and we get region games. I served on the RAC committee for the last 3 years, and those games are very, very important. And also the atmosphere. You put your girls in that atmosphere, you put your team in that atmosphere, And that's going to be seen again when you get to the crossover. When, we have a big crossover in our conference where the East plays the West. You're going to experience that again if you make the playoffs. So gathering up all the experience you can in that kind of atmosphere, I believe it's extremely beneficial for our kids. And as far as getting stuff out of it, what I've learned is every team is competitive. I mean, from the time you walk out there and throw the first pitch to you walk off at the end in the challenge, it's competitive. And you're going to have to play if you want to win these games.
When you talk about, on the field in the first pitch, I noticed last year that a lot of these players know each other. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of fun watching the interaction, especially when they're playing on other teams. And then going into, I looked at it as a sharpen iron type situation, right? Because you leave from the challenge and then you go back to your respective universities and institutions, and then you start, some may have already started or some are getting ready to start their softball season. Does that help you prepare and see what you may or may not have in regards to your team, some strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, yes. Especially when, like we were alluded to earlier, I have 12 seniors. Well, when we go there, I'm expecting that a lot of kids, not all of them, but a lot of kids will get opportunities to play. And, given that opportunity, I always tell my kids, I use the door analogy, when the door is cracked, kick it in. Don't wait on somebody to come open it for you. Go ahead and kick the door in. Tell me as a player that I won't play. And this is your opportunity. So go get it. Even though it's the 12 region games, it's not conference games. So here's your opportunity. And, kick that door in.
Have you or your veteran players who were there last year, have you guys shared the experience or what the new players may expect or get from? Have that been shared between you and the players yet? Not
yet. We will get to it. We usually do that, when they come back in January, we'll have our first couple of games, and then we go to the challenge. And prior to going to that challenge, we lay out what to expect, where we're going, what we do, what we don't want to do, and expect a challenge when you get there.
Absolutely. What are your expectations for this year's 2025 HBCU Softball Challenge?
Well, going back, I'm expecting to get to some of the freshmen some playing time. I expect to get some sophomores some more playing time. I expect the seniors to be leaders. I expect the seniors to kind of lead the way when we get there, so that the younger kids won't be lost. I also expect a lot of competition, and I expect that from every team we walk on the field with. And I'm sure they expect that out of us, and we're going to do everything we can to win every pitch.
And if you can, Coach, because I definitely love to give the young ladies shout outs. And of course, it's not selective favorites or whatnot, but if you can give a highlight of some of the young ladies that definitely we should be on a watch for come this softball season, or for this softball challenge that I can be on a watch for when I'm in Spartanburg, South Carolina with you guys.
Well, I think most of the teams that know us by now, my leadoff hitter is Madison Hurt. She was the number one player in the country as far as stolen bases per innings last year. She's the best second baseman I've ever coached, and I've been in this thing a long time. Katie's right behind her, Katie Ayers. I don't know how to do it, or I would have already done it. She had 4 inside the park home runs last year, and I'm not talking about errors. I'm talking about just got down the right field line or hit it in the gap. And I don't know that's not
a quick. That's
quick record. 4 inside. I don't know that I've had 4 cumulative in my whole career. She hit 4 in 1 year. I was like, amazing. And we got a solid pitching staff. Kalia Smith, Ramona McLeod, and Trista Murphy. They're going to, head that pitching staff. I got 2 other freshmen coming in as well. They're going to they were all conference pitchers last year, so we expect a lot out of them.
And one of the reasons of this platform specifically is to highlight HBCU athletics, and because there isn't that much media attention, and especially when it comes to the women in sports. And from my experience over the last couple of years, when it pertains to the softball teams, they are a group that is together. They care about each other, and they are determined, regardless of score. Like you said earlier, when it came to the chance, regardless of the score, yes, they'll chat, and if you make an error, they're not going to let you know. But they also fight to the very end.
Oh yes, we've had games. One that comes to my mind right off the bat is we were down 8-0 in the first inning last year and come back and won that game. And that's universal with the kids. They're not going to quit. They just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And if you let up at all, it's almost like it's momentum.
Yeah.
You let up at all. If they grab that momentum, it's really hard to get it back.
If there was a young lady out there, Coach, right, and she's losing her desire to play softball, but she's a good softball player, what would be your message to her?
I relay my own life that, I'm 59 years old now. And if somebody asked me to play, I would suit up and play. I don't know how long I could play, and I sure don't know what I'd look like afterwards. But don't lose that desire, because there will come a time when you won't be able to play. And for my seniors, this is it. Unless they, go to a slow pitch league, always cut up with some of them going to the First Baptist Church League that they have down here. This is it. Play with everything you got, do everything you can to make it last, go as long as you can, and play hard to the last out's made.
How would you consider your style of coaching?
Cerebral is a good word, I suppose. I like to think through. I'm analytical in everything I do. I'm strategic. I try to harness my emotions. There was a time when I was younger. I probably shouldn't say this on air, but at one time, the league I was in, I led it in ejections for 7 straight years. I hope I've evolved over my time and much more laid back now, and don't take things so personal.
You said you led it in ejections for
7 years in a row.
Straight.
Oh,
so the umpires knew your name. You had a target on your back.
Oh yes. Well, I think I developed that target myself. I don't think they put it on there. I just did it myself. As a matter of fact, they changed the rules for me.
Oh, so you have your own rule. What is the coach Jason Bryant rule?
Yeah, well, when we first had our meeting, I'm cutting up because we had the chairperson came in to explain that meeting years ago. Coach Hal Wynn, I just saw him the other day for the first time in like 20 years at the NFCA convention. And he walked in having the new rule now where if you get ejected in the first game, you got to set in the second one. You get ejected a couple times, then you're going to set for a lot longer. And he introduced those by saying, these are the Jason Bryant rules.
So since then you haven't had to sit for any games, right?
No, sir. Hey, changed my perspective. I don't argue judgment calls no more.
Coach, I want you to give a highlight of what Albany State means to you, an advertisement of why Albany State is a great atmosphere. You kind of alluded to it earlier. In regards to the campus life, to the president, to the way that everyone adores and how they handle campus life. If you could just give that shout from the Albany State University softball realms, right? Talk about what it means to be an Albany State realm, and then why choose Albany State.
Well, one of the things, and I tell the recruits here, because I thoroughly believe in this from our administration. They invest in what they value. And, that's a lifelong statement. Most people invest where they value. I allude to my truck. I got a Ram Rebel. I like riding in something nice, so I invest in it. At the same time, I don't buy a lot of clothes. They're good about investing in the kids, investing in the facilities, investing in the academics. We invest a lot of our time in these kids, young people, I should say. And that is appealing to me. I want to be where they invest in what they value. They just don't do things just to be doing it. They do it with a purpose and a meaning behind it. And at Albany State University, that's what you'll get if you want to come here. I mean, we're going to invest in you. And you know, we want performance. We want those things that we're investing in with you. We want to see the grades, the high GPAs. We want to see you graduate. We want to see you do well on the softball field. We want to see you become somebody valuable in the community and to stand up for what you believe. And we don't back down on that.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, my AD has a shirt that she made, and it's a hashtag creating legacies.
Wow. And lastly, Coach, this is off topic, but I just want to get your take because you said you're from Alabama, right?
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Are you disappointed that Alabama didn't make it into the college football playoffs?
Well, the standard at Alabama's high, and they lost 3 games this year. Now, at the same time, I'm one of those, you know, I believe in the resume. You may have a better record, but did you have a better resume? And yeah, I mean, it always stings a little bit, you know, because you think Alabama could win the national championship. You know, I'm not sure I think that about every team in there.
Yeah, I agree. I had to get, when you said you were from Alabama, I said, oh, I got to ask Coach this take off topic. But
yeah,
no,
it
Coach,
stings a little bit.
Everyone's used to seeing Alabama, so it's different. It's going to be different because, you know, like you said, there's a high expectation, right? Mm-hmm. And that expectation is every year we are national championship worthy, and I think that is something to be, you know, commended for Alabama. But
at the same time, if I can add this,
yeah,
that's if we don't do well, it stings because my expectations for our softball team. Yeah. We didn't play particularly well in the championship series last year. That stung, you know. Okay. With all our numbers, we was the number 1 hitting team in the country. We had the highest batting average, plaque up there from the NCAA, and we just didn't perform well. And like Alabama, that stings. You know, it just stings.
Did you use that as motivation, or did you use that going into this year, especially for those returning players, about the things that was left on the field?
Oh, yeah. When they first got back, I hadn't, you know, I always tell my kids, go to the next pitch. And that was the first thing they was telling me after I was saying, we're not going to play like we ended. I mean, we ought to have a chip on our shoulder the way we ended. One of them said, Coach, you're not supposed to go back in the past. Can't do nothing about it. That's what you said for the last 4 years.
So they're using your words against you now.
Yeah, killing me now.
And then we go back to old school as do as I say, not as I do.
I was about to say that. I wanted to tell you about what my daddy used to say, do what I tell you to do.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Absolutely. Well, Coach Bryant, I thank you very much for taking this time with me. I look forward to meeting you again in person. I know we had a passing because last year was the first for me. But this year, I definitely look forward to not only introducing myself again personally, but also getting some live interviews, on-site interviews with you as well as the tournament is unfolding, and get your take on, you know, your team's performance. Have they met your expectations or not? And what do you think you need to work on more? I appreciate it. Pitch and Push appreciates it. I look forward to seeing you in February.
Absolutely. Love to do the interviews, and I appreciate you for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Again, shout out to Albany State University. It's going down on your host, Pitts, from Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio. Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live. Listen, we got one more after Coach Bryant. We got Benedict College new head coach, Amari Lawson. It's going down on Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio. Stay tuned.